Another fight week, another few days away from fight, main event. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Ready to go in there and have some fun.
Now this bout was supposed to take place last month, was supposed to be in Rio. When a fight gets switched up like that, how big of a change is it? And I know it's at the Apex, but you're headlining, but fighting in Rio probably would have been pretty cool too. You know, what sort of things happen when they come at you with this change?
A couple things happen. Just some adjustments in camp. You know, the time obviously changes, so you have to, you know, dial it back a little bit. But it worked out. I don't want to go to Brazil. I want to travel all the way to Brazil, you know, under these circumstances. I've been there before. What I want to do is I want to just be able to take a quick flight, you know, come here, do what I need to do, and go home.
How far out from the fight were you made aware that they wanted to relocate it or reschedule it? Sorry.
It was maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 4 weeks out, 4 to 5-ish weeks or something like that.
How much does that affect? Europe, you don't look like you bulk up too much outside of a fight week, but I mean, how much does that change the fact of when you're trying to peak for your weight and to have your endurance? I mean, is it a big switch? Do you have to kind of cool things down for a little bit when they pushed it back?
You pull back a bit, but honestly, the last camp was a little short notice, so this works. This works, you know. Small adjustments, nothing crazy. Small adjustments and just dialing back, like you said, so I don't overdo it, but gives me more time to perfect things, and it works for me. I like that.
You mentioned like the last one was a bit more of a short notice. We often hear from fighters say that they really like short notices at time because there's less stress of thinking about the fight. You know, their body's ready. Do you prefer or do you enjoy short notice fights, or is it just a matter of?
I'm not a short notice guy per se. I will, but you know, I'll take it and I'll do it, but I don't love it. Like some guys say, oh, they love it because not that I'm out of shape or anything, like I can, but it's just I prefer to have my time to prepare properly, diagnose the guy. You know, I'm one of those people. I get real cerebral with it, and you know, I just like to have everything in order, and it's a good amount of time to prepare for a person.
Well, now they gave you an extra month to think about, you know, your opponent.
Perfect.
So I guess, you know, break him down for me. Where is he dangerous, and what sort of things are you expecting out there?
I think he's a tremendous athlete. You know, I think he's an explosive, strong guy. I think that his grappling ability is tremendous. That's it. You know, but I've seen him before. You know, I've seen him before. We've been here before. But a tremendous athlete. You know, I think he's really, really dangerous, and I just got to make sure I'm on point on all, you know, on all aspects.
Like you said, you know, you've seen him before. You've seen his type. Is there you've been around the game for a while now. Is there anybody, do you feel like you see new stuff coming out from the guys coming up, or is it all just a rehash of something that you've already sort of seen out there?
There's always something, you know, there's always something new. You know, guys are developing. The game is always developing. And, yeah, the game's evolving every time, every day. There's new waves of guys. And, you know, just him, I've seen him, you know, and that doesn't take away from his skill set. I've just seen it before. Yeah. Whereas, you know, some other guys, there are some new stuff coming, and, you know, it's kind of cool to see the game grow, and it's an honor to grow with the game and continue to do what I do. But, yeah, it's good.
And I imagine in the gym, you know, people look at you as a vet, but are there guys in the gym that you're starting to see come up that push you and that you learn new things from every day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see guys that are coming up, young kids, you know, that have bright futures, you know, tremendous athletes, you know, even over at Marquez MMA, you know, shout out those guys. You know, those guys helped me tremendously, and there's so much young talent in the room, from guys like Igor, Itzo, Bushido. You know, these are guys that are just not even in the UFC yet, you know, and just a ton of athletes, man, ton of great guys, you know, Maximus, you know, and yeah, these guys are coming, and they're developing really well, and you know, you can see it in their game in the gym.
And I'm sure that as these fighters are training, they're looking at you for your experience, or they're watching your actions. But if there was something you could tell these young fighters, that if you wanted to verbally say something to these fighters along their way, what would you say to them to keep them motivated? And maybe if you had one lesson that you would want to impart them with.
The importance of resolve, and the importance of giving it your whole heart, and giving it your whole heart every day when you show up. Doesn't mean be a meathead. It doesn't mean get your ego involved and be this tough guy in the gym and I'm, you know, hard every day. There's a reason why I'm still here, right? And it's because I do give it my whole heart, but you train with intention and be intentional about everything that you do. That's what I would tell them. When you train smart, You know, you can spar every day. People say you can't spar every day. You can spar every day if you're prepared properly and you're equipped with the skill set. So before you get to that step where you need to spar, make sure you're equipped with the skill set and you have a fundament and your fundamentals are there. And then once your fundamentals are there and you can protect yourself, you'll be okay to spar because you can defend yourself.
And oftentimes it seems like the mental side, the mindset is the hardest part. A lot of people, it seems, when they go into training, they feel like they need to be angry. They need to be angry at their opponent, and whether they're be fighting in the cage, in the octagon. You see fighters that come to the UFC and they feel like they have to talk. Sometimes the sport makes you feel like you have to talk up your fight, but some people carry that anger, and you wonder, is that good for a long-term career?
It's not.
It's not, right?
Not at all. Not at all. I know guys that they walk around with this tough guy thing, and then when even in sparring, it's like it doesn't. People are not your enemy, man. You know what I mean? It's like you fight in the octagon. You fight for money. You know what I mean? You fight to change your family's life, right? You fight for an opportunity to be the best in the world and show your skill set, right? And the best fighters in the world don't walk around angry. You know what I mean? So you gotta focus on the skill set, develop the skill set, and you can be the best.
What's your keys to the victory for Saturday? What needs to happen to make sure you get your arm raised?
What needs to happen is I need to just be first, be fast, all right, and be myself, and just go out there and do what I do. That's it. Keep it on the feet as much as I can, but, welcome a few exchanges, grappling exchanges, and once he realizes that I'm not just a dead fish on the ground, I think that's when, things will take over for me.
And I know this is only the second fight that you got this year. Looking at 2026, what are your goals, and how many times are you hoping to get back in there? And has it just been tough finding opponents, or is 2 about the perfect number for you in a year?
Typically, I fight more. 2 is good, but this time, we were looking for a guy in the rankings. You know what I mean? It was having a tough time getting some matchups, for someone who wanted to let me in and give me a shot, you know what I mean, at the rankings. And coming off the performance that Bonfim had against Wonder Boy, I felt, maybe he was in a position that he needed to defend that ranking. And I was open to fighting anybody in the rankings because I do believe I match up well. I have some amazing fights with some of the guys even in the top 10. There's a lot of great fights from me and the fans. So, yeah, it was tough getting fights, but here we are now.
Yep. Just a couple outside of you. One of your past opponents is fighting next week at UFC 322. The welterweight belt's on the line.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on that matchup, and how do you see that fight playing out?
It's a great fight. It's a great fight, but don't sleep on Merik. Merik, my guy Merik. Shout out to Merik. Good guy right there. And skilled guy. I trained with him, for a little bit, for a couple months. And, well, not for this fight, but in the past. And he's highly skilled. He's a good southpaw, good pop on his punches. I think he can do well. But Salikov, still crafty vet. The dude is, he does damage, and you got to watch for those spins. He can get anyone out of there. He's very powerful. So it's going to be a very good fight, I think.
Now, I was also talking about Makhachev and Madalena as a welterweight belt.
Yeah.
Is that who you were just describing?
No. Oh, that's you.
That's what I was asking, was for the Madalena.
I thought you were talking about Salikov. You said past opponent on this card.
No, not on this opponent that you fought in the past, because you fought JDM in the past.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that was my
Salikov
fault.
on this card. So that's why I thought you were talking about.
I was like, I don't think I know that nickname for him. But no, JDM and Makhachev. Your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, that's a great fight. I think I'm taking JDM to win that fight. I think JDM, fought arguably a bigger version of Islam in Bilal Muhammad, and yeah, I think people are underestimating how good Jack is, and then also you see his development, man. He's developing good. You see like he's gotten better from where he was, and his scramble ability, everything doesn't stop moving. And I do think that if he can't take which he will get taken down at some point from Islam, but if it's not a factor, if it's not a thing where he can hold him there and he's able to get up and continue to work and then maybe get taken down again, but if he can get up and Makhachev is in a position where he's like, all right, well, I got to strike for some bit, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to be eating some shots, because I don't see any world where, the dude is going to be getting head kicked or something. You know what I mean? From Makachev. You know, I don't see that. But you never know, bro. The fight game is crazy.
Last one, another part of the fight game being crazy. I want to get your thoughts on the recent allegations of fight fixing. You know, a lot of people saying that it could be rampant in the sport, or that people have been approached. But I just want to ask you, do you feel like there's a problem in the UFC or MMA with fight fixing right now?
I don't know if there's a problem. I can't speak to it. This is one incident that happened. I don't know about rampant. You know, there's a lot of allegations being thrown around. For me, I can't speak to it. I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the information. I'm one of those people that I don't like to speak on things when I don't have information. So I can't really speak on it. But what I can speak on, you know, is what's happening in Jamaica. You know, I want to take the time to maybe, you know, talk about those things as far as the hurricane and the people who have been affected. You know, I have family that's been affected, you know, and friends and all that stuff. So, you know, I decided we can maybe do something to help them. And I created a foundation, you know, that's been up and running for about a year, you know, and it's more so to help the inner city youth and underprivileged kids to learn martial arts for free and be able to train and maybe potentially become MMA fighters, right? We decided to help, you know, with some relief. So we set up an account, you know, and we've been taking donations and everything. So the UFC stepped in as well, and I asked them to match, you know, something that I put in, and they went above and beyond, you know, way above and beyond, and went past what I asked them to match, you know. So I just want to shout them out for that because they didn't have to do that. And yeah, if anyone's interested, it's called the Randy Brown Foundation. You know, you can go ahead and, you know, check it out.
Best of luck on Saturday.
All right.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you.